If you want to maximize how much you can safely spend in retirement, then sell some of your bonds and buy lifetime income annuities instead. That's the latest research by some of the finest minds in the industry.
Now, while you're still working, a diversified portfolio of stocks and bonds is an effective and an efficient way to save for retirement. But as you start drawing down that nest egg, you are going to want to maybe switch to income annuities from bonds. At least that's what the latest research is showing.
Now, Amber, we're going to quote two economists with this latest research. The first is Dr. Wade Paffu, a professor of retirement income at the American College of Financial Services. The other is Dr. Moshe Milevsky, a professor of finance at York University in Toronto. Now, Amber, these two gentlemen, this is what they do. They teach all about retirement income planning, and they're always staying on top of things. Now, right now, we are in a very low interest rate environment, which seems kind of counterintuitive for annuities because annuities are interest rate sensitive. But the latest research shows that despite low interest rates, income annuities are still outperforming bonds.
So what are income annuities? Now, this is something that we have talked about. It's something very important in our process of retirement planning.
Amber, when a retiree purchases an income annuity, they're essentially transferring the risk of longevity and poor market performance to an insurance company, right? The insurance company is going to take that money and pool it with tens or hundreds of thousands of other retirees to reduce portfolio risk and insure against longevity.
So to better understand this idea, the law of large numbers, we have another video about this, so make sure that you catch that video after you watch today's video to help you better understand what that's all about.
That's right.
Dr. Wade Paffu, professor of retirement income at the American College of Financial Services, has said the most efficient portfolio for retirees consists of stocks and income annuities.
Notice he did not say bonds there, Amber. Let's show you why. Dr. Wade Paffu gives us a great example of a 65-year-old woman who has a $1 million nest egg. She's risk averse and wants to finance her retirement entirely through bonds. Now, this used to be doable back in the 80s and even 90s. Today, not so much. Because Dr. Paffu says, according to actuarial tables, there's a 22% chance that she'll live 30 more years out to age 95. So if she wants to build a bond ladder that will run out of money when she's 95 years old, at current interest rates, such a portfolio could provide her with around $42,000 a year for 30 years. That's according to Dr. Paffu. But if she instead uses the $1 million for bonds to purchase an income annuity, she could get as much as $61,500 guaranteed for her lifetime, Amber. So let's think about this. So in this example, Dr. Paffu says if she does a 30-year bond ladder and she lives beyond age 95, what happens?
She runs out of money.
She's out of money, right? We don't want that to happen. But instead, if she replaces those bonds with an income annuity, not only will she receive almost 50% more income, but she's guaranteed to never run out of income even if she lives beyond age 95. Now, Amber, something else that she could do, now that we know she can get 50% more, is put less money in the annuity, right? Maybe she doesn't have to put a full $1 million to get the income she desires. Maybe she only needs to use $700,000 or $800,000 of her $1 million in an income annuity to generate the income she needs and can continue to grow the rest to leave a legacy.
So how much should you spend on these income annuities? Well, that depends on your personal circumstances, and we have talked a lot about this. But Dr. Moshe Milevsky, I think, says it best. He said, you absolutely need to cover your fixed expenses with income that will last the rest of your life. That's the floor.
That's the floor, Amber. That's the minimum amount. And we talked about this before. Using Social Security, pension, and lifetime income annuities needs to cover your basic monthly expenses in retirement. And that's exactly the kind of retirement income plans we create for our clients.
So let's look at an example of how this works in practice. Let's say a 70-year-old couple has $50,000 of combined Social Security income and a $1 million portfolio. The portfolio contains $600,000 in stocks, and $400,000 in bonds.
So Amber, that's a very typical portfolio, right? 60-40, 40-60, that's very common portfolio allocation in retirement planning. The researchers are going to suggest now that maybe that 40% in bonds is not the best solution.
Okay, so the couple figures they need $70,000 a year in retirement to cover their basic living expenses. If they sold all their bonds, they could currently buy a $400,000 life income annuity paying more than $21,500 a year, as long as one of them is alive. So they've got $21,000 a year, they're meeting their goals, so what happens to the rest?
Well, Amber, that $600,000 in stocks can now remain invested in stocks and perhaps somewhat aggressively, right? If they're covering all their basic monthly expenses, they've got $70,000 a year coming in guaranteed from Social Security and income annuity, they can now manage that $600,000 for growth or to do Roth conversions to pass some of that tax-free to their beneficiaries, right? This is a pile of money they can use for long-term care. This is where the fun stuff happens. Market corrections and low interest rates are much less of a concern for this couple because they have guaranteed monthly income covering all of their expenses in retirement.
So this is what we recommend also for our clients, and we call it the IRIS plan, an income annuity to cover your monthly expenses in addition to Social Security and any pension that you might have.
That's right. And then investing the rest for a specific purpose, whether that be tax planning, legacy planning, charitable planning, whatever it is that you want to do, long-term care planning. These are all common things that you can invest the rest with, but now you can do so knowing that your retirement income is guaranteed.
So in today's low interest rate environment, what has worked for the last 30 years isn't going to be quite as effective anymore.
No, it's not. Bonds are not what they used to be. And Amber, we have done another video about how bonds work. As interest rates go up, bond prices go down. So the outlook for bonds is pretty low right now. So replacing some bonds with an income annuity is the best way to plan for retirement according to the latest research.
So if you would like some help understanding this, you can visit workwithnewgen.com to schedule a 15-minute introductory phone call.
Because you can make the rest of your life the best of your life.
Plan now to retire happy.